Hi everyone, I'm Michelle Fitzgerald with the Senzar Learning Center, and today I'd like to talk with you a little bit about or share with you some insights that I've recently had about my own life, that beneficial insights that I think would be very beneficial to you too, to many of you too. I'm about to turn 60. My birthday's in just a couple of months, and in the approach of that important birthday, I've been doing probably a lot more reflecting on my life than I typically do. I tend to be a reflective person that way anyway, but I've definitely been doing a lot more reflection on my life. Things like where I've been, what I've done, where my successes have been, where my failures have been, how satisfied am I with life, that type of thing. And the good news is that in that evaluation, I really, without much consideration, it didn't take long to say, I'm really content with my life. I am very pleased with how my life has turned out so far over the last 60 years. I think that it's a life well lived, and I am happy about that. If I were to step out tomorrow, I'd step out without regrets. I'd step out saying, no, that was a good life. And I also look forward. I realize in all this reflection as I looked forward, how am I feeling about the decades ahead, and about the things that I want to do and experience, and et cetera. How am I feeling about that? And I feel very, very positive and curious and just ready to go for the next however many decades I remain on the planet. But in all this assessment, I was also asking myself, what is it? This is a life well lived. What is it that has helped me the most create a life like this, create a life like I've done? What is it that has led to this level of contentment and the many experiences that I'm so happy that I've been able to have in this lifetime? And just almost instantaneously, as soon as I asked that question, one attribute, if you will, I was thinking of skills and attributes, and one attribute or state came immediately forward, almost like a big neon light was shining in a window. And it was this, it was enthusiasm. I was thinking about what are the skills and traits that I would want to make sure that I carry forward to help ensure that I have the same kind of future as I've had in the past in this lifetime. And it was the single emotion, enthusiasm, is really way up there, if not number one. Maybe it's not number one, but it certainly is way up there. It's the one that flashed with the neon lights. That's what I need to carry forward, and that is what has super served me in the past. So enthusiasm. Just enthusiasm. I'm an enthusiastic person. If you've watched a lot of my stuff, it kind of comes through in those videos. I'm enthusiastic about my life, about my friends, about my pets, about my hobbies, about everything. About food that I eat. I'm enthusiastic. Enthusiasm has served me incredibly well. I think that it has kept me energized. I think it's part of how I have so much energy to do the things that I think of doing that I'd like to do. I have plenty of energy to do them because I'm so enthusiastic. Enthusiastic, I think, has helped keep me healthy. I'm very, very healthy. I think that enthusiasm has played a huge role in that. I think enthusiasm has played a role in keeping the channels of creativity open, so that I'm always thinking of new and fun ideas, whether it's for my business or my life personally. I think enthusiasm has helped me when I've had big challenges, and I've had my fair share of challenges and problems, but yet I've worked through them pretty darn quickly, and amazingly enthusiastically I've worked through them. And I think that the enthusiasm has allowed for or opened the gateways for creative problem solving so that I could get through those problems more quickly. I also think that enthusiasm all by itself serves as kind of an autopilot attractor frequency for generating positive outcomes in life, for just generally attracting positive stuff. And when you think about it, enthusiasm is like when we're thinking about our future and we're enthusiastic about it, enthusiasm has built into it the assumption that whatever is around the corner is going to be positive. And that assumption is a thought pattern that helps attract that positive outcome. So it's a built-in generator of positive enthusiasm. If you can bring it up in yourself, it's going to help attract positive outcomes, because there's an assumption of positiveness in the very sensation or the very structure of enthusiasm. So all those things, I think, have served me, have really served me very well and helped get me to where I am today. And again, I definitely want to carry enthusiasm into the future with me. So what is it? How do we, well, let me back up a little bit. The other thing I pondered about a little bit was, do I actually know anyone that falls into the category of feeling incredibly contented with their life, incredibly satisfied with where they've come from and what they've done so far? Do I know anyone that falls into that category that isn't enthusiastic? And the answer is no, I don't. Every person that falls into the category that I know that is incredibly content with their life is a person who has been enthusiastic about their life, that they're waking up every day enthused about simply being alive. So I think it's not just me. I think that it's a valuable trait and an emotional state, kind of you could think of it as a trait or an emotional state on autopilot. I think it's a very valuable trait to develop. So how do you do it? Where does it come from? Are you just born with it and that's that? I think that enthusiasm is a natural byproduct. I think anybody can experience it. I think anybody can experience it perpetually. I don't think there are just a select few that are able to generate it on autopilot very consistently. I think that it is a byproduct, a natural byproduct of two things. One is mind state, that where it is that you place your attention and how it is that you manage your thoughts, whether you're doing that just out of habit, good habit, from being, trained that way by your parents or whatever, or the people that you're surrounded with, but managing those conscious thoughts and where you put your mind consciously, very important. Managing your mind state, the unconscious mind state, not letting the subconscious mind pull you into the gutter, into negative emotional states and things like that. So I'm not going to get into great detail in this video about that, but those of you who have been following my work for any length of time, you know how heavily I'm into this kind of stuff, the importance of managing our thoughts, which in turn will manage our feelings. And we've got the conscious and the subconscious categories to consider, and we need to consider both and get serious about managing them, which I have done in my personal life for decades. So mind management would be number one. Number two would be tending to the heart. When I say tending to the heart, what I mean by that is, number one, listening to the heart and doing those things that your heart calls you to do. Not that we should throw logic completely out the window, but that we do listen to the heart, and we more often than not walk a path that is a path that aligns with what makes our heart sing. When we do that, enthusiasm is natural. It's a byproduct of walking a path that makes our heart sing. So learning to listen to the heart. Secondly, learning how to take care of the heart, especially the physical organs, certainly, that's important, but especially the subtle energies of the heart, because you can't hear the heart sing if you're not, and it won't sing if you're not managing the energetics of the heart. Sometimes that can happen by accident, or just by default, but most times it takes management. What are the things that you really need to manage in regards to the subtle energy aspects of the heart to get perpetual enthusiasm? Well, number one, you got to manage, again, mind states, and you got to manage even subconscious mind states. Belief codes is what I call those. Number two, acquired energy. We pick up a lot of energy from people and places and objects. There's lots of ways that it can happen, but we are influenced hugely, or can be influenced hugely, by other people's thoughts and feelings. So how engaged are we with negative thoughts and feelings? Are we watching the news and reading books that make us sad and suck us into the negative emotional feelings of whoever wrote the book or whatever's on the news? Or are we hanging out with people who are upbeat and positive, and the type of infection we'll get from those people, what we'll acquire from those people, are real upbeat, positive feelings? Hopefully, even enthusiasm is what we're going to acquire from those people. So doing things to more effectively manage the acquisition of other energies, putting ourselves in situations where we won't acquire as much, because acquisition of other people's energies, thoughts and feelings happens very regularly. Where you put yourself, the relationships that you put yourself in can be hugely impacting, and we can manage where we put ourselves. We can also manage many ways to manage what we do acquire when it's not in our best interest. For example, if you acquire depression, which is one of the easiest energies of all to acquire from other people, it passes like a germ. It's just amazing. What to do if you do acquire depression? If you acquire it, you're going to lose your enthusiasm. It's going to be that simple. It could be that you simply acquired a big batch of depression from someone. How do you get rid of that stuff? There's actually ways to do it. So managing acquired energies, managing the electromagnetic field of the heart. I've talked a lot about this in other videos, and I'll just mention it briefly now. If you want to be able to be perpetually enthusiastic, to feel that emotion often, you need to keep the electromagnetic field of the heart in really great shape. I've got a section on my website that you can read more about this, read a little bit of my story. That was one of the episodes. How I learned about this was one of those episodes in my life where I literally lost all enthusiasm for everything, for my job, for everything, for the people around me, for my life in general. It just went boom. There wasn't an ounce of enthusiasm coming out of this little vessel of mine. It was a direct byproduct, that particular episode, which, by the way, lasted quite a while. It lasted for about 14 months. And again, you'll read my story online on my website. But 14 months I went without feeling enthusiasm, which was so unnatural for me. And it was all a byproduct of a complete crash of the electromagnetic field of my heart. So it's important to learn about that and learn how to manage that. And it's more easy to manage than you might ever imagine, but you need to learn about it and attend to it. If you go to my website, to the Heart Smart section, you can get the beginnings of how to start dealing and better tending to the electromagnetics of the heart. There's a nice free 10-step, it's a 10-point article on things you can do to help bolster the electromagnetic field of the heart. So read that as a starter. Number 4, so we've got manage your belief codes, the subconscious thought patterns. Number 2, manage acquired energies. Number 3, manage the electromagnetic field of your heart. These are all subtle energy things. Number 4, manage the energetic blueprint that underlies it all. I call it the ultimate light body, or the light reflectivity of the organ of the heart itself as a type of blueprint. That if that blueprint, energetic blueprint, gets messed up, it's definitely going to squelch enthusiasm. No buts about it. So if you keep these 4 key components of the heart in really good shape, if you learn to start managing these things, you're going to be able to generate enthusiasm much more regularly, just like me. What I would hope for you is that when you reach the age of 60, that you're able to, if you're much younger than me now, that you're able to look back on your life and you're able to do exactly what I'm doing right now and say, wow, how cool is this? I feel great about where I've been and where I've come to, and I feel super excited about what lies ahead. That is a byproduct of enthusiasm daily. If you're older than me and you're looking at the time ahead, my hope for you would be that you're looking at those years ahead enthusiastically, that you sense really great things for yourself and you're generating enough enthusiasm to take each step towards that future with that beat of enthusiasm, because that is what's going to guarantee for you a positive future, or a more positive future than if that didn't exist. So with that, I conclude my little insightful message tonight. Hopefully that gives you some tips and raises the flag a little bit, put your attention a little bit more strongly on this single emotional state, enthusiasm. It's important. It's priceless. Get busy at learning how to create more of it. You'll benefit tremendously. Bye for now.